Alright, so the first thing you're going to do in creating this custom animation title is to go up to Title. Again, I just opened up a regular project. You guys should know how to do that now. Set up a project again. Make sure it always says F-Drive up here, your name. Or I guess if you're working on a laptop, it might say you'll just put it on the C drive. That's fine. But make sure you're working on a folder that's for your project. So go to Title, New Title. Anytime we want to custom animate a title, we're going to go to the default still option. And then I'm going to give this a name. I'm just going to call it Title 1. If I were you, if you're going to name your title, if your title is going to be video broadcasting or short films or whatever your title is, you could put that in there as well. This isn't actually obviously where you put the text in for your title, but you're just naming the file. So click OK. Then you'll get your editing, your title editing window up, and it will show you the video because that's what's showing here. You'll notice as I move this here, it will update this. Remember, you're not actually putting the title in the video. You're actually it's just showing it there, so you can kind of design with it in the background. In fact, I can even turn it off. So essentially, this is all you're designing, is a transparent image with text on top of it. Okay, so it'll end up being just like a clip. But I like to have it on there because it's kind of handy. What I'm going to do is with this scene, I'm going to custom animate this scene. I'll play this out. It's going to be kind of laggy here, but it's basically a scene in New York where we have, actually I think this is Vegas, where people are walking, on the sidewalk, and so I'm going to have my title kind of start off in the background and kind of grow outward as if it's kind of matches the movement in this scene. So I'm just going to click, do not click and drag. Do not do that. Simply just get your text tool and just click. Okay, so now I'm going to here we'll just do so I put some text in down there in the bottom. Of course, you have different presets. I always like white. Your best bet is always going to be white with a black drop shadow. That's going to give you the ultimate contrast. There's nothing better than that. If I start using colors and things like that, it's going to start to blend. It's going to be hard to read. Everybody likes them because they think colors and fanciness is always better, and typically it's not. It's just eye candy. You want something that's going to be easily read and can be quickly read, so that you don't have to leave it up on the screen very long. So I'm going to find, I'm just going to go with this one. Now, right now, since I'm putting Welcome to Las Vegas all together on one title, I can't animate like Welcome and then have Vegas come out. It's going to animate as one. If I want to animate Welcome and then have Las Vegas come out after, I'd have to just put Welcome, save this title, and then make another title and put Las Vegas. So you'd have to break things apart if you want to animate one thing and then have another thing animate and another. So you can't. I couldn't group this all together and then animate one and not the other. It's going to animate it all together. So there's my there's where it's going to be. I don't animate in this window. Essentially, all I do is create. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and close this because I've got my text in here. I can come over here obviously and change my font size. My color and other things about it. Just because you use a preset doesn't mean you can't. You can still adjust it over here, but I'm going to go with that. It's good enough for me. So I'm going to close this. Of course, it shows up as in my project somewhere. Went to the wrong one. There you go. And so here's my title. And so I just simply drag it up here. I'm going to lengthen it. And so here's where we start to really get into animating the title. Before we were just creating a title to animate. So what I'm going to do is you really need to decide how you want to animate it. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I want this to start really small and then to grow out large and maybe end up kind of like it is right now on screen. So this is the end result. So I don't want it to start off like that. So you can see I'm at the beginning of my at the very first frame of my title. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it, and you'll notice that up here in the Effect Controls window that I don't want to double click on it, because if I double click on it, it's going to launch the editor where I can change the text, which I don't want to do in this case because it's fine. So up here, then what I do is I expand. I hit this little triangle. I know I'm going fast, but again, you can watch the video back and catch this. And I'm going to hit, I know I want to animate what? Position. I know some of you guys are probably sitting far enough away you can't see it, but I'm going to animate position. I'm going to animate scale. If I wanted to, I could animate rotation. I could make it spin out, kind of like a headline title of a, when you say this just in and it comes spinning out, like a newspaper headline. But I don't want this to have that feel, so I'm just going to have it grow out. And then what I do is I just simply go ahead. Now that I've turned, I've toggled on position and scale animation, it's put some little keyframes. And so what that means, these keyframes are placeholders. It's kind of like a bookmark. And what that tells, what that's telling it is that, hey, at this moment in time, this title, as I adjust it, it will remember those settings at that place and time. So let's go ahead and see what that does. So over here, I'm just going to go ahead and take this title, and I'm going to scale it in. Remember I said I want to make it really small. And then I'm going to put it maybe back here somewhere. I kind of want it hidden. What I could do is also take the opacity down, but I don't think I want it to. I think I'll just make it a little bit smaller. I'll just take it down to about 6. That way you really can't see it at all. Okay, so now these keyframes are basically holding the setting that, hey, at this moment in time, at the beginning of this title starts to exist, it's going to be at this position, clear back here, and it's going to be 6% in size. So now what I do is I play this along, and I can say, about right, let's play it a little bit. I want to kind of match the speed of the people a little bit. So I want it to take a little bit in this case. So let's say about right there. This is all just, up to you. You're the designer really here. And so now at this point in time, you notice there's no keyframes. It's still way back here and real small. So now all I do is I just change that. So I say, okay, you know what? I want to make it 100% now. And I want it to be about right here. Now let's see what that. And that's all you have to do. You had a beginning place and time, and you had an end place and time. Now we actually have animation. What essentially the computer will do is do what's called tweening. It figures out all the in-betweens. It said, hey, here you were, let's like in real life situation. Let's say last hour you were in what classroom, wherever you were. Now this hour you're in this classroom. The computer can figure out, oh, here's where you were at point A. Here's where you are now at point D. It can figure out all the in-between. So it will animate. So if I play this back, and it might be a little jumpy. So it will animate that. And so all it's doing is that note, hey, at the beginning you wanted it here in this size, and at this point you wanted it this size. Now, what if I want that to happen faster? One thing I want to clue you in on and kind of expand a little bit is up here. Yes, Mac, how would I make that faster? Yeah, you see these two keyframes? Here's the keyframe that holds the end. As I move this over, you can see here's the keyframe that holds this position. So all I'd have to do is grab those, move it to here, and now that animation is going to happen really quick. Okay, versus I could go the opposite. Obviously, I could go out a lot further, way down the timeline, and make that happen a lot slower. Okay, so. And you can have these do all kinds of crazy things. I mean, I just have 2 because I just wanted it to be here, and then I wanted it to be here. I didn't want it to come here, and then over here. Again, that's just eye candy, but I mean, you could easily do that. I could move it up here, then I could come here, and I could move it down, down here. And so now it's going to have this kind of bouncy ball kind of, animation to it. But again, to me, it's not professional. It's just kind of hokey animation. So, and that's pretty much it when it comes to custom animation. There's not much more to that. You can still come in here, and I can say, you know what, I really want to change that title, and I just want to put Vegas. So I can just come in here, I can even make it larger. And I don't have to redo anything. You'll notice it changes it here. So all those other settings still hold. It makes no difference. You don't have to redo anything. If you misspell something, which I know high school students never misspell or have any grammatical issues whatsoever. So thankfully we can go back after the fact and change it, and that we won't have to redo any of the custom animation. So again, what are these called up here? Keyframes. Very good. Okay, and keyframes are used in all kinds of animation, 3D animation. Every movie you've ever watched that's been animated, you have to have a very good understanding of what keyframes are, because then they have characters that they have to move from one position to the next, and it's a very time-consuming process. So that's why they have lots and lots, teams of animators working on a movie for months, years at a time, because it takes a long time to custom animate all those different things. So thankfully we're just doing 5 titles, so at least for today. So if that's it, then I guess I'll let you guys go ahead and get those 5 titles animated. So let you guys do it. I'll export this so you have this video if you want to rewatch it again. Yes, sir.
I literally know how to do all that.
That's awesome.
Should have had you.
I should have. I was just afraid what you might, you would have got on here and masked your voice to sound like Darth Vader. I mean, who knows what you would have done.